Hello, hello, hello. How are y'all beautiful people doing, guys? We are joined with a lovely guest with us today. I seen him just recently on My Life is Awesome stream, and he is actually a previous Coinbase developer brought into the PulseChain ecosystem. Friends and family, let me welcome KB Dev Official. How are you, my friend? Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, brother. I was just enjoying the day. It's a lovely day. It's Memorial Day. So shout out to all the vets, all the memory who we have for our fallen brothers and sisters who have, protected us, dying in honor of what we do. But besides that, man, just another lovely day here in Tejas, as I was talking to you a second ago, man. So give me a quick little rundown. What's been going on? I know you used to work at Coinbase. How long did you work there? What made you start bringing over into the world of, PulseChain and our ecosystem? I heard a little bit on My Life is Awesome, but for those people who didn't see that interview yet, give us a little quick rundown on yourself, my friend. Oh, give me 1 second. They're saying they can't hear you on the Yeah, give me 1 second here. Yeah, can't hear him. Sick, can't hear him. Let's go. All right, cool. No sound. All right, cool. Give me 1 second, y'all. This one, because I always have a different platform, so I guess it's good to know. So now it says we are live. And yeah, guys, for those of y'all in the chat, please give us a quick little sound check real fast on the sound.
Hello, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Testing. Didn't mean to remove you. I clicked the wrong button. Got too trigger happy with it.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Can anyone hear me?
All right, here. Thanks for all the fallen vets. Yep, good sound. Cool. KB Dev, we can hear him now. Perfect. All right, cool. All right, appreciate the heads up on that. So as I was saying earlier, folks, this is a previous Coinbase developer. Again, for those of y'all who haven't seen the interview with My Life is Awesome, Lit, he is on there. Did a great story and explanation on what he's bringing over into the PulseChain ecosystem. But again, for those people who missed that particular interview, please give them a quick rundown on exactly where you come from, what you're about, and what we can expect going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got into crypto around 2 years ago. Like I was on a WhatsApp chat with a bunch of friends of mine from college, and they just started talking about this hex coin. And for like weeks and weeks, if not months, I just was kind of ignoring them. I finally took my dive down the rabbit hole, did research, got into it. It got to a point where I was so interested in crypto, I decided to, try to actually leave my job and get a job in the crypto world.
Right.
That's what led me to Coinbase. I was there for a bit over a year, and I got a ton of experience there. And at some point, I found out about PulseChain well, really the PulseX sacrifice, and like that led me to like really want to just, build something for
Right.
Pulse. Like, I'm at Coinbase here, and for those who don't know, like there's so much. First of all, it's such a big, like, all the companies I've ever worked at were, kind of smaller, medium-sized companies where like you can have a bit of an impact and you could really see like the customers like kind of impact about what you're building. But at Coinbase, like it's so big, and like you're working on like back end things that like no one's ever really gonna see, and like
Right.
there's so much red tape that like every decision takes like a couple of days to get through. And like I'm sitting here watching people like Alex from Hedron and like, Maximus Dow, Dipcatcher, like build these cool products, and I'm like, well, why can't I just do that? Like I could do that. I started learning about smart contracts, and like I got really good at it, and like I started building cool things, and like why can't I just like move over there and like build some like really cool products?
Right.
So I did that, one product led to another, and now I'm here with like my current.app project, and I'm currently working on a really cool project. I can't really give away details. I am working on it with someone really cool in the community.
Love it.
I'm really excited about that, and that should be coming out probably in the next month or so.
Absolutely love that. Do you know how many projects are coming out within the next 30 to 60 days on PulseChain, y'all? It is about to get absolutely crazy. And so if you thought the chaos has already started, y'all have yet to see what's about to happen. So one thing that's funny, and we were discussing this briefly through chat and stuff, but you know, the Hexagon ecosystem, if you will, it used to be such a sole focus on hex and just what it meant to be a hexagon, staking 5555, going out long, staking long, delay gratification. And with the launch of PulseChain, I've really noticed the walls starting to drop. We started to see that from the development of Hedron and Icosa, the development of Maxi and the perpetuals on that, the development of all these other aspects or derivatives coming from what could be in our ecosystem. And it really started to bring open people's minds to open the idea to more coins, right? And so I'm a big fan of what you got going on. The fact that you have the development happening, the fact that there's other stuff going on, and give us a little bit of rundown. Most of the stuff follow the key principles, I assume. No admin keys, immutable code, all that good stuff. Is that kind of correct?
100%. And let me touch on that in a second, and I'll just add in my 2 cents about like why I think the walls are dropping.
Yeah.
Besides like what you mentioned, like for sure the Pulse X buy and burn has a lot to do with that, right? Like if we want to support, if one of the biggest fundamentals of Pulse X is going to be the buy and burn, so like you want volume on the chain, and what's the best way to get volume? Just like supporting lots of projects, supporting lots of coins, supporting, you know, people being able to transact and move around those coins, etc. So yeah, what remind me the original question?
Yeah, no. So I was just saying with the code, with the immutable, the principles of crypto, if you will.
Oh yeah. So all my projects are fully audited, admin keyless, 100% immutable, and like to the point where there were actually a couple of things, like my project Karn.app, it has a like I got inspired from the PulseX buy and burn even before PulseChain launched.
Nice.
And I actually incorporated my own type of buy and burn in the project.
Yeah.
It basically takes the Karn token and it like buys up hex, it buys up other coins, it burns the hex, and it burns the other coins. And it got to a point where when I was building that, I was thinking to myself, well, you know, it'd be really cool if I added an admin key here, because there might be a point in the future where it might be beneficial to like change the LP pool.
Right.
But I left that out, and I knew adding any type of like admin key or like anything would be a big red flag to people. And like people should know that when it comes to admin keys, like 99.999% of them are probably bad. But there are use cases for them, and there are like non-malicious use cases for them. I personally didn't include any in my project. So that's, you know, you could be rest assured for that. But
well,
like,
I think, yeah, we actually kind of seen that already. I mean, just with like the idea of PulseChain, right? I mean, there has to be some sort of keys, or admin keys, the good kind, if you will,
right,
that allow you to do stuff, because it's something that, again, like there is the bad kind that allow, like, you know, multiple coins being minted at free will, being able to stop people from transacting or being able to do, like, that's bad stuff.
Yeah, I'll give the example of like why I wanted to include an admin key in my project. I didn't end up doing it, but like I basically had to hard code which liquidity pool the buy and burn would be transacting with.
Right.
And when PulseChain launched, that liquidity pool got copied over to PulseChain, like everything else that got copied over. And so that the liquidity pool that's actually interacting with my buy and burn is actually on the Uniswap copy. It's like, you know, did you know like Alex from Hedron, he built like a front end to interact with the copied over Uniswap contracts? Have you heard?
Yep.
So like the liquidity pools that my DApp are interacting with are actually like on those copied over Uniswap pools that you can only really access via Alex from Hedron's like front end.
Right.
So if I had an admin key, what I would have done is just switch that liquidity pool to something on Pulse X,
right?
Instead of being stuck on Uniswap. It works fine now, and like there's no, like it still works perfectly. It's just like a little weird if people like have to go to that front end if they want to like interact with it.
Right.
There are other liquidity pools that were made on Pulse X for the coin, but the one that the buy and burn is interacting with is actually still on the Uniswap copy.
Love it, guys. I mean, this is what we're looking for: is more developers, more people coming in general over to our ecosystem to build, to develop. I know you were talking with Lit on the interview about the gas fees that it would take to just publish a contract, for example. or
Oh
just to
yeah.
be able to do stuff on the Ethereum network. Can you go into a little bit more detail on what's different on PulseChain?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you would probably be like shocked if you knew how much money I spent just on deploying smart contracts on Ethereum.
Right.
Uh, I'm talking like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Gosh.
Like in the days when like a swap, I don't know what they are now, but like you're spending like 50, 60, $70 on a swap.
Mm-hmm.
You'd easily be spending like $300, $400 just deploying a smart contract on Ethereum. And,
Wow.
and my Harden.app project,
Wow.
there's like 8 different sections. Like if you go, there's like a bunch of different tabs, and each tab has its own smart contract.
Yep.
And not only that, like for the lottery, there's like 6 different smart contracts. It's really like it is really like it came out as like over 20 or like 22 different smart contracts. So
Right.
you can imagine like how much money that is. And like I even wanted to do a testing round, of course. So like you have to launch the whole suite of smart contracts first in like the testing mode. So that's like
Wow.
another for $3,000-4,000. So it's crazy, man. I'm just so happy PulseChain's here and like things are cheaper and a couple of cents to like deploy this or like swap that. It's great. It's really great to have it.
So being that the fees are so much better over here on PulseChain, like how do we get how do you get the word out about that kind of stuff? Is it just something that happens organically like we do right now?
Um, well, I think it's happening. I think it's happening. Like, you look at what Richard Hart's tweeting out the last couple of days, like,
Yep.
this wallet's hosting us, this product is, incorporating us. That lovely lady, KDP,
KDP. Yep.
she just tweeted out like a whole list of projects, it looked like over 20 different projects that were integrating PulseChain.
Right.
We have centralized exchanges taking us on, like Kanga and the other one, KTX or AT. Oh, you're ATX.
OKX.
Okay, OKX, right?
Yep.
OKX. Like it's gonna be really hard, if not impossible, for just this chain to go mainstream, like in the next couple months, the next year. Like it's
I
it's gonna.
absolutely love that. I really do. And guys, y'all, you're early. Like I love saying this, but you have to realize PulseChain's only been out for 17 days.
Oh
Can you
yeah,
believe it's only been less than a month? It feels like, I mean, in crypto world, it just doesn't time just seem to fly?
yeah.
Like
I mean, with the prices of PulseX right now and like Hex, you're earlier than early.
right, exactly. Oh, 100%. Yeah, the prices on Hex. I mean, guys, we haven't seen these prices in Hex since April of 2021. And so if you aren't taking advantage of that, it's as if you have just fallen asleep or something and just missing what's right in front of you. And then the prices of Pulse X being under sacrifice, all of it right now. It is such an incredible opportunity. Again, knocking on people's doors. Something I heard you as well mention was the rolling 90-day or rolling 60-day stake, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Can you go into some more detail? I guess let's just kind of back up a little bit. So right now you developed an app called Karn.app, and you can go check it out by visiting the website, y'all. Within the app, they have multiple coins that you could purchase in there. Some of them you did the buy and burn function, like you just mentioned. Some of them you have the rolling stakes, which it seems like Hex is one of those coins. Can you go
Yeah,
into a little bit of detail on maybe why that could be more beneficial or advantageous instead of just doing like a 60-day stake yourself, being a small minnow in the sea?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let me just preface all that with the Watsa NFTs, because it really, like a percentage of the yield from that Hex stake, from the other dApps at Karn.app are all funneling into the Watsa NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to like understand that, I think, before. So basically, are you familiar with the Hedron Watsa NFTs?
Yes.
All right. So
Alex made a good one. And again, guys, y'all can go check all this out as well. Highly advised taking some time to research on all this and making sure that it's at the end of the day your decision. But give us a little bit of rundown for those people who aren't as familiar with the What's a NFT.
yeah, so basically the way it works is like there's a minting phase. His lasted 2 weeks. Mine actually lasted 69 days, but there's only a week left.
Love
So
it.
it launched like 62 or so days ago. So basically the way it works is you mint this NFT with however much money you want, and that gives you a certain number of points. and your total percentage of the reward pool is your points divided by the total points. So like
Okay.
you mint a Watsa NFT for $1,000, it's a million points per dollar basically. So you would basically, you'd have like 1 billion points if you mint $1,000. And so your percentage of the reward pool would be that billion points divided by the total amount of points. Let's say it's 1 trillion or whatever.
Okay.
And once the minting phase ends, the only way to actually benefit from the yield is to burn the NFT. So you want to like get out the hex, you want to get out the USDC yield from the Watsa pool. You would burn your NFT, and what happens is everyone else remaining with a Watsa NFT, now their percentage of the reward pool just got a little bit bigger.
Right.
And if you're familiar with like the Hedron Watsa NFTs, like there's these Twitter accounts that just tweet out once a day, like, how many Watsa
remaining.
Yeah. And, like before I built this project, like, and even now, even after I built it, but like those NFTs, like not even mine, the ones from Hedron, like those are one of my favorite assets in the whole ecosystem because it's so exclusive. Like,
right.
Your percentage of the reward pool just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And I'm telling you, like years down the line, it's going to get to a point where, people are going to start having like 10% of the pool for themselves, like 20% of the pool from themselves. I'll be happy with just like 1%. Like that'd be huge.
Right.
But
so when someone will say gets rid of their NFT to convert it back into the pools that it's been earning the whole time, it burns the NFT, I assume, as well, correct?
Yes, it burns the NFT. Like those points are now removed from the pool so that like whatever points you have are now a bigger percentage of the total points.
Right.
And then like your percentage of the reward tokens, let's say Hex, for example, or USDC that are like in that reward pool, those coins get sent to your wallet when you burn your NFT. And the people who are remaining in the pool just now have a bigger percentage of those rewards going forward. Okay, so now I guess we can move on to like the what are the things that are funneling coins into that Watsa reward pool?
I had one more question on the Watsa. So, or I guess one more idea for those people who aren't too familiar. So something that you do when you have, I guess, anything that pays you some yield at some point in time, is you typically want to go and set ladders. So something that people have done, even with the Watsa NFT from Hedron and Icosa, is you get multiple of them so you can, pull out over time. So that's another thing that if you should so decide, you can go partake in that yourself. I know I didn't necessarily get into the NFT world myself, so I didn't get any of the Watsas from Hedron and Icosa. My buddy did, and he's holding on to that thing like it's gold. So, it's funny, but if you end up getting a couple of them, and I think you have a special deal going on as well. But guys, go check it out. And then, yeah, definitely go ahead and continue what you were saying. I just wanted to share that thought.
Yes, I minted myself two somewhat big Watsa from Hedron. And yeah, one of the painful things is like not being able to burn them, I gotta say. But like you want to hold on to them long term because your percentage just keeps getting bigger. And
right.
I if I could go back in time, I probably would have minted just like a couple extra, for like 1,000 each, just to be able to like burn one like every month or every quarter or however you want to do it.
Right.
So yeah, so I guess now we've talked about Watsa. Well, what are the things like funneling coins into that pool? So like, what are the different dApps that are funneling rewards into that reward pool? So one of them is the Hex community stake. I'll give a brief overview, but if you really want the intricate details, like there's a white paper, it goes into every single detail out there. But basically, it's a 60-day recurring stake. The way it works is the stake keeps getting bigger and bigger every 60 days. So like the principal, now this is going to sound a little like weird, but the principal actually remains in the stake every single 60 days. That's how the stake gets bigger and bigger every 60 days.
Right.
And your percentage, like the amount that you put in for that stake determines your percentage of the yield that you're going to get.
Right.
Now, what's amazing is like when it gets down the line, let's say 10 months into the future, or a year into the future, whatever, the point is for like that stake to get so big.
Yep.
That even if you would just down the line add like, let's say 100 hex, 1,000 hex, like a small amount, well, I don't know if that'll be a small amount in the future, but like even adding like 100 hex, 1,000 hex, the percentage of the yield that that huge stake is going to produce, it's going to be very worth it for you to just put in that 100, put in 1,000. And you asked before, like, how does that benefit the little guy? Well, again, if you're, how much yield can you get just staking 100 hex, 1,000 hex? I would say
Very little.
Little to negative.
Next to nothing. Yeah, well, after gas fees are taken out.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Especially on maybe on PulseChain, not negative, but on Ethereum for sure negative.
Right.
Because of the gas fees to stake and unstake, or especially unstake. So yeah, like that's what I'm excited for. Like this stake is literally coded to get bigger and bigger. Like one of the things I'm excited for is for it to become, who knows, maybe the biggest stake out there. I don't know if it'll do that, but that'd be really cool. And like the incentive to participate in this recurring 60-day stake gets bigger and bigger every 60 days, because the more hex that's in there, the bigger percentage of the yield you could extract by participating. Right. And by the way, and then 10% of the yield from every stake actually gets funneled into the Watsa NFTs. Okay. So like if you own a Watsa, you don't have to participate every 60 days. You could just chill on that for years and just be benefiting by this huge stake that's like going by every 60 days.
Right. Yeah, and this is to give you a quick little rundown, guys. This is all in the white paper as well, which I highly advise going and taking some time to learn and look at yourself. But you can actually come in here and it does a really good breakdown as to how it all works. So you'll, after the 60 days, you'll have a 9-day period in which you can reload. Keep in mind that is the time to go through and withdraw your yield as well. But definitely go through, anytime you invest in anything, go through and do your own research as to what it is that you're actually getting involved in. There's a full white paper that goes into plenty of detail as to how it all works. So I highly advise anyone who ever goes in, because again, we look for quality over quantity, folks. Quality over quantity. We aren't just jumping into every single new project that's out there just to have a chance at a moon run. We're making sure that we're invested for a long term, so we don't have to worry about trying to pull or extract value within, I don't know, the next little 30-day window or whatever. That's by no means something that I would advise for anyone to get into. So
absolutely. And one thing I will say is, one of the things that broke my heart, especially when the Hedron Watsa minting phase was going on, you literally saw people mint a Watsa and then burn it like right away,
immediately.
Like a lot of people were doing that. Like I was just sitting there like, what is going on? Like, do they not understand how it works? Like,
right.
And that's actually why I built it. So it's one of the reasons why I made it so people could only burn it once the minting phase ends. I just didn't want to see people like burning their Watsa NFTs like even before the minting phase. Right. I made like some limit to like, you know, push people off so they have time to like read the white paper and understand like this is
it calms everyone down. Yeah. Like I think eFiat's doing something similar with their system for staking as well. So everyone's kind of learning how it's all working, because they have a similar thing where if you want to draw some value, you have to actually wait. I think it's like 14 days, if I'm not mistaken, for it to be able to be withdrawn. So yeah, I mean, it just, what it does is it kind of resets your emotions, guys, because when you make rash decisions based on emotions, you typically look back and you say, that wasn't the best thing I could have done.
Oh, for sure. I've definitely done my fair share of that.
Right. Right. I think all of us have checked it out at some point in time and had a similar situation. So give us a little rundown as well as to you know, you had the Coinbase, the Coinbase world. What's it like being in that world and then just being able to actually come out and do your own thing, I guess? Like, what are the regulations that you have to abide by, and like what are the restrictions that they stop people from doing, I guess?
Yeah, like I mentioned, there's a lot of red tape, and like, you know, you can't be as like right now, like when I'm coding these smart contracts, I'm totally creative. Like I'm in the shower, I get an idea, boom, I write it down, I go to my computer and I kind of plan it out.
Right.
And when I was designing this DApp and the one before that, like it was just so fun. Like every day, every week I'd get a new idea and like I'd be able to implement that. Over there, it's like you're kind of like stuck under the control of the, you know, the leadership and like whatever they want built. And
right.
I don't want to get into exactly the thing I was working on, but basically the project I was working on wasn't so interesting in the first place. And then at a moment's notice, like the whole project just got scrapped. So like literally working like for months on a certain project, and like they're like, you know what, we want to actually move in a different direction. So it's very demoralizing in that sense. And like I was just kind of happy. Like I got my experience there. I got the name under my belt, and like now I have the freedom to just basically kind of build whatever I want.
What got you into developing in the first place? Is it something that you've always been kind of passionate about, just being a young child and finding computers and learning that way, or is it something that you found you just wanted to learn a hobby and it turned into a passion and then it turned into what is a career at this point?
Yeah. Well, it started in high school, and this was over, probably like 15 years already.
Mm-hmm.
It started in high school. I don't even remember how I ended up in this class. I think I think I was just assigned to it. I don't remember choosing it per se, but it was a class in a programming language called Visual Basic.
Okay.
Even for people who are not even for people who are into coding, probably will either laugh at that language because it's so old and like no one uses it anymore. But for sure, people who are not into coding never heard of it. And I fell in love with it. That was like my favorite class. I looked forward to going to that class. I was actually part of we had basically like a competitive team basically.
Mm-hmm.
We would like compete against other schools, and like basically the way it works is it's your team against like 3 or 4 other teams from different schools. They give you like a 45-minute coding challenge, and they're like, whoever can like write this program the quickest, the fastest, the best, they win. So like I did things like that. And me and this one guy, it was like a friend of mine, and the teacher of that class used to stay after school for like 2-3 hours almost every day, just like we were building games and stuff. And I remember one of my proudest things I built in high school was I built a program to solve any Sudoku puzzle. I don't know if you're familiar with.
I love Sudoku.
Okay.
Love it. So it's a passion of mine. Every single time I fly, I always buy a brand new Sudoku book so I can go just do it while flying. So big fan.
I haven't played in a long time. Probably
you built a code for it.
Yeah, probably since high school. I haven't done a Sudoku. But actually, I should show my kids about that. I'm sure they'd love it.
Right.
But so yeah, I thought like, hey, why don't I just build a program to solve one of these? And I did it, and like that kind of it inspired me to just think like, hey, there's so much you can do with coding. You can make anything. You can make games. You can make these like applications, and the couple of jobs that I had before Coinbase, it was cool. I learned a bunch, and it was cool products that I was working on. But like when I found out about crypto, and like, hey, you can actually make things that are like dealing with real money, like that just boom, light bulbs went off, and like wow, this is so cool. This is so cool.
Heck yeah. Yeah, anything dealing with finances, anything dealing with money, extreme passion. So always a big fan there. And then when you can incorporate 2 passions together, wow. It's an incredible experience at that point in time. So yeah, I mean, just having the coding background as well, because I have some coding background, but not even beginning to like touch the surface on coding, because I had my whole thing was system security and IT. Nice. I would handle that regard. But yeah, when it came down to like writing scripts and programs, it was like, no, I could just figure out stuff if I needed to.
Nice.
So what was the main language that when you had to use Coinbase, for example? I know when we look at Ethereum and PulseChain, it's using stuff like Solidity for the coding. Was it similar structures and language for coding when it comes to Coinbase, or did they have their own like in-house language that they used?
Yeah, I was mostly working with Golang at Coinbase. Okay. And I was kind of like a little bit more on the DevOps side. So I was working like with Docker and things like that. But yeah, Sudoku is fire. That's funny.
Yeah, it really is.
So, I mean, I would say my strongest language is Python. And then after that, at this point, it has to be Solidity after that.
Gotcha.
Even though I was working with Golang, I'm really not so into it. I would say, yeah, Python, Solidity. And, ever since I started building these dApps, I got much better at front end coding.
Right.
So I was never really into like JavaScript and React and Angular, Vue and things like that. But over the last like almost a year now, I've gotten like really good at just like whipping up a front end and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, I would say Python, Solidity, now like pretty good at Vue, front end stuff.
Do you find the passion to still want to go learn all the other different networks or languages out there to familiarize yourself with it, or is it something that put the blinders on and say I'm going to get really good at this particular one, or what's the main thing? Because I know there's with technology nowadays, it advances so rapidly. It's just so rapid. I think someone had said it was like for every like 6 months in technology now we advance like another 10 years into the future. Um, and it's just because of how quickly everything's developing and how quickly everything's coming to fruition and what we had. I mean, look back 100 years ago, there was none of this that we're doing right now, none of it.
For sure.
So and you look back at that, and so like, I guess how is it trying to learn or keep up with all the new systems out there?
It's a great question. I think like maybe if you would have asked me this question like 5 years ago, I think back then I was much more into like wanting to keep up with everything, wanting to learn like a new language that came out. I'd spent like a week, just trying to get familiar with it.
Right.
Except at this point, it's more like what is useful to me, like like Vue, Vue.js or Vuetify, which is like a nice library I've been using to build these front ends. Like I needed that, so like I learned about it, and obviously Solidity, like Vue. Yeah, pretty different. Both still used separately, by the way. Rick? Oh, is that your name? I don't even know. Is Rick your name?
Yeah, no, Nathan's my name, but
okay. Yeah, well, Visual Basic is different than VB scripts. I think VB scripts are like used in Excel spreadsheets, if I'm not mistaken, like the back end.
Oh, it's too funny.
But anyway,
I mean, there's already probably 10 different variants of that too.
right. Yeah, I know there's like this one YouTube channel I follow where like I forgot what's called, like Fire something, where like he covers every single new technology that comes out. So I kind of it's like 1 minute videos, so I kind of like stay up to date. Yeah, I'll watch those and I'll kind of stay up to date on new things. But yeah, right now I'm just focused on like the things I'm working on, and I don't really like like I know Google just came out with like a C++ replacement language.
Right.
I don't even remember what it's called, but like that looked cool, but I really had no interest to kind of learn it. But 5 years ago, I probably would have.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's again, because it's an ever growing network, and I guess something that's brand new. And I just with the PulseChain and getting into everything that they had here, I was learning about all these other things. It was the Golang, the Aragon, just all this stuff, and I was just reading what I could. Trying to keep up to date with everything because I was always wanting to know what's going to happen. When's PulseChain launching? What are they doing? What are they working on in the background? And the fact that it was all public was really cool in my personal opinion. I know they do a lot of stuff behind the scenes in private as well, which is, I think, good for everyone to do. Is there like a good place besides, have you seen anything happen with like maybe someone building like a front end to keep track of the what's the NFTs for you? Have you seen that already come out? And if not, is that something that you're looking for someone to maybe help out with, or are you looking to do yourself?
That's a great question. I haven't seen anyone come up with that. I do imagine I will, because I definitely will want to be tracking that. And I'm sure the community also, the people who participate are going to want to have some type of tracking thing.
Oh, big data nerds here.
Yeah. I'm gonna want to come out with like a Twitter bot to help with that as well, for people to stay up to date. But yeah, I mean, what I'm really focused on right now is my next project. And it's going to be really cool. I can't really share the details, but basically anyone who has a Watsa NFT now is going to be grandfathered into that next project for free. And yeah, that's what I'm excited for and focused on right now.
And you were mentioning earlier, I think at the beginning, and again, we had some audio issues or whatever, but in the beginning you had mentioned maybe the next 30 to 60 days. Did I hear that correctly? Is that the aim, or is it something that I guess give me a little bit more details there.
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be ready in the next probably 3 to 4 weeks. The only thing is we're going to probably want to do audits We're going to want to do all that. So, that might add, a week or two on that front. But yeah, I would say definitely that's a good timeline, probably the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, something like that.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, we saw this already with PulseChain that code is hard, y'all. Like,
Oh, yeah.
when you start getting into something, and that's why typically I have the IT background that you only change one thing at a time, so you can figure out and troubleshoot when something changes. And so often people want to change 15 things at once, and you have to go back to square one when that happens, when something inevitably doesn't go accordingly. So it's always good to make sure it's done, tested. I know, showing my age. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were talking about the VB script over here as well. So yeah, they were saying the same thing. They use VB script for exploits, is what they were talking about. Oh goodness. Oh, that's what Rick was saying. VB is still used in its .NET form.
Well,
Wow.
I was using it like this is probably like in 2005, 2004, something like that.
And then you moved on to bigger and better ventures. No.
Python so much better.
No, that's awesome though. I mean, so where can more people find out about, I guess, the WhatsApp information? What is the best place for them to follow you at, and keep up to date with, maybe the new project you have coming out here in the very near future? So again, we can always get in a little bit early and make sure
Yeah,
that we're ahead of the curve.
for sure. Well, my Twitter is right now on the screen, KB_dev_official. My Telegram group is t.me/Watsa, WAATC. The actual DApp to mint the Watsa is at karn.app. Also watsa.app forwards to the same site.
Gotcha.
So yeah, those are really the three main places: KB_dev_official, karn.app, t.me/Watsa, 2 A's, WAATC. Yeah, those are the main ways.
And I have all that information down below in the description as well, at least where they can follow you at. I don't have the link to the information on website, but this is exactly how you spell it, WAATCA. Explain what that stands for again. I know it's all the fun stuff of we are all the big. I'm gonna let you fill it in.
Yeah. So just it stands for we are all the carnival address. So like the whole theme of the DApp is like kind of themed after a carnival. So you have like different dApps, and it's kind of like different games, and like all the different coins from each dApp are all being funneled to the Watsa NFTs and things like that. And it's there's a Karn token, and you pay the Karn token you use to actually pay the fee to hop on those rides, kind of like you're at a carnival and you have to pay like 10 tickets per ride and things like that. So so that's the thing. We are all the carnival address, and it's modeled after the we are all the source address from the Hedron Watsa NFTs.
Yep.
And if you take a look at like the different dApps at Karn.app, there's different staking mechanisms and things like that. A lot was inspired from existing things in the community. Like I didn't copy things exactly. Like I definitely added my own flair, my own touch to a lot of things. But Watsa is modeled after the other Watsa. If you're familiar with the Maximus DAO perpetual diamond hand staking, are you familiar? Like you can stake your DESI or your base token diamond handed for like a year or 10 years. So that like one of my staking mechanisms is modeled after that. And just a bunch of different things there are kind of modeled after things I was inspired by in the community, and I innovated from that.
Bro, I absolutely love it. Bro, I feel old at 25.
Yeah, things are changing so much. Like that used to be the cool thing.
Yeah, I remember dial-up too. Yeah, no, forget. Yeah, I don't even think you try explaining something to a kid nowadays is like how things used to happen, and they just laugh. They can't even imagine that world. Anyone born after 2000 is a new breed of being, is my opinion. Someone said that. I was watching a funny video. They were saying that anyone born after the age of 2000 doesn't exist in their eyes because it just makes them and reminds them that they're just getting older and older. And I remember that because they have in Texas, they have where you had to be 21 just to get cigarettes, and they upped the age or whatever from 18 to 21. And I remember laughing at that, and then I realized that by 2021, everyone born in 2000 was able to get cigarettes. Crazy,
Oh,
crazy information.
wow.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't have Starlink? Yeah, that's too funny. Imagine crypto existing when I was 25. Laugh at, dude. Imagine, man. We are all fortunate because again, like anyone wants to talk about crypto in general, you're so early in general to right now. Like Bitcoin hasn't even reached it's still an infancy stage in my personal opinion. Like
Oh,
so,
yeah.
whenever I'm saying that, it's like Bitcoin's 14, 15 years old, y'all. Like 14 years old. That's crazy, right? It hasn't even been around for a full stake length in hex. And
For sure.
so for everyone who's like wondering if they should, like, just imagine if you could have gotten in Bitcoin back 14 years ago and held to now, then that's kind of the idea and principle behind what Hex does. So
And what's amazing right now about the hex price is like you can literally get in at a price where it was like 6 months into the project. I don't know. I tweeted out a chart where like I drew like a horizontal line,
yep.
like all the way from like the first couple of peaks that happened, like the first couple of months of hex, and basically how that same horizontal line is touching where we are right now.
God, so incredible. What a good opportunity.
You can get in like at a good price right now, and like that thing, it's gonna shoot up. Like the highest of stakes movie, like when that comes out, like what do you think's gonna happen? Like, like that's crazy.
Dude, I can't honestly, I would love to be able to see that movie. And go check it out with the friends, the family, and everyone out there, because I hear brings perspective from all angles, not just the hopium side that we all have, for example, where hex is the greatest thing ever, right? And it brings other angles, and it makes you kind of open your eyes up to be like, okay, cool, how do I go about having this conversation with more people, right? And that's what I love about our ecosystem, is that now we have so many streamers, now we have so many people who are coming out to not only practice what they preach, but actually put their name behind stuff, put new projects out there, do this for the community. And a lot of the times it's just to do it, right? Like just for fun. Even you yourself created everything. You realize that you got this Coinbase thing, which the red tape and the binding of the hands and everything that they do to you, and you're like, what? Let me go have some fun now. Let me unleash my passion. And you've done exactly that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I'm just getting started, man. I am just getting started.
Yeah, exactly. This is my boy. This is my co-host, Westcott Crypto. What's up, my man?
Hey, what's that? How's it going?
Yeah, he's absolutely incredible, man. Love Westcott.
I remember first seeing his what was it, the Backstreet Boy video?
Yeah. Yeah. So what's so funny is everyone has that one video for Westcott that they all remember. Which, hey, shout out to Westcott. Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Westcott for having that little moment, because that's like everyone's like, oh, I remember watching this is my first time. Like, I don't think anyone has that. I haven't heard that from me yet, so maybe one day I'll get there. But he always has it, because the first video I saw from him was the therapist interview where he had the 4 people in the room, and it was him as PulseX.
I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah. I think it's like one of the first videos that kind of like popped off for him in the community. He had been doing a couple things before that, but it was him as the therapist, it was him as PulseX, him as PulseChain, and him as Hex.
That's
and of
funny.
course, the PulseChain and Hex are like, we're gonna be the best. And then next thing, you got to check it out if you haven't seen it. Just if I'm not mistaken, just type in Westcott Crypto and Therapist or something like that. I'm sure you'll get it.
I know he's a big PulseX bull, as am I.
Yeah, I think it was called Pulse X Face, if you actually want to see it, like a Scarface reference, but it was Pulse X Face, if I'm not mistaken. Go check it out. Either way, he's got so many good stuff, but
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah. Let me see. Here we go. We had a question from Phomophobic. Is there a minimum dollar amount to mint a Watsa?
Absolutely not. So in fact, like earlier this morning, I saw someone minted one for $1. Like basically the amount that you mint with determines how many points you have in the pool. And if you look there's actually a deal I added now that you can actually use Pulse and PulseX to mint your Watsa. Like the normal minting is with USDC. There's a deal going on now. You can mint with Pulse and PulseX, and like you'll get like a little 2x bonus, like as if the price was twice the SAC rate. So that's going on right now.
Awesome.
But yeah, and it's, in fact, it's like if you don't want to mint at all, and it's your choice, obviously, but to even mint with $1 might not be the worst idea, because again, even with $1, 20 years down the line, you might have 90% of the pool. Who knows?
Right.
Maybe I guess, like, even my dApp is not as popular as the Hedron Watsa. So like I would say fewer people are minting. So like you have a pretty good chance to get a nice percentage of that pool.
Love it. Yeah, great question. Great question, Homophobic. And great answer as well for you. So yeah, that's Westcott. Yeah, it was called Pulse Face. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go check it out if y'all haven't seen that one by Westcott. I mean, either way, you just type in Westcott Crypto Pulse Face, and bam, you're gonna be laughing. It made me come out with my own little video as well that I ended up doing.
Really?
In regards to him, I did a Pulp Fiction one where
Nice.
Samuel Jackson's doing like say what again, motherfucker, right, like all that. And it was that scene right there where I said, say Pulse X again. So anyways, good stuff, man. We all come out with creativity from each other, right? I think that's something that we have a very big passion about within our community. So I would love for everyone to go and follow KB Dev Official on all the socials. Again, I have the Twitter and the Telegram for him, KB Dev Official. I do need to go in, and I will put the link to Karn.app as well in the description to anyone who wants to get in there and do it. Usually, whenever I have some fun, I kind of stay a little bit away, but I think you have 7 days remaining, if I'm not mistaken, to get you a Watsa. So if y'all are wanting to participate in that world, because again, he had it for 69 days, 62 have already passed, so we got about 7 days remaining. And yeah, if y'all are wanting to participate, then go get yourself some Watsas right there, my friends and fam.
Oh yeah, and again, the next project I'm building, it's going to be very PulseChain, like PulseX focused, and the Watsa owners from this project are basically grandfathered for free into the next project. So I would say that's like definitely one of the. I mean, besides all the yield you can earn, obviously from all the USDC, there's other coins you can earn as well. Besides earning that yield, you're just basically getting grandfathered into a brand new project, which I will let out this little detail. Lit Gains from My Life is Awesome is very, very bullish on. I shared with him all the details of that project.
I absolutely love that guy.
We've been broing down, like we've been on the phone almost for like 2-3 hours, like every night. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's an incredible human being, y'all.
Yeah, and he's very bullish on that project, and I think it's going to be amazing. And you basically get in for free, basically, by having a WhatsApp. So that's all I'll say for this.
Love it, guys. Well, again, I'm gonna wrap it up here, but guys, go follow KB Dev on all the socials. Much love to every single one of y'all who are here. Hopefully y'all have a wonderful, relaxing day. If you are on a holiday break at this point in time, do a nice little break one more day before getting back in the grind, because guys, go make that money right now while these prices are good. Go get yourself all the ability to start getting them money printers ready to go in the future. Now's the time to put your head down and make that happen. So much love to you for being on here, KB Dev Official. Thank you so much for coming on. And again, looking forward to seeing what you have going forward us in the future as well, sir.
Absolutely. Well, ATX, it was a great chatting with you, and I look forward to getting back on with you, maybe talking about the next project or just catching up. This has been great, and maybe one day me, you, Westcott will be chilling on our PulseX yacht.
Hey, yeah, we about 2 years away from that, my friend, and it's going to be, well, maybe even 1 year for me and Wes. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're gonna have some fun on that for sure.
You're in heavy, huh?
Oh, I believe heavily in the RH ecosystem, so I got myself all four, right? I got Hex on both chains, and I got PulseChain, and I got PulseX, and just blessed to even be in the situation that I was in, because I had found Hex early 2021. Ooh. and it was right there, and then got in heavy because I realized it was everything I wanted. I said, forget all that other stuff, 401ks, IRA, IRAs, all that stuff. I was like, close it down, whatever, I'll pay taxes, don't worry about it.
Same here.
I went all in, and then had some stakes ending right before the PulseChain sacrifice, and so I was able to withdraw there and actually have the money ready, which was incredible. And then I had some stakes ending right before the PulseX sacrifice.
Oh,
so
nice.
the timing was just like incredible, and so I was able to go in nice and heavy on both. And yeah, looking forward to what we have going forward in the future, my friend.
Awesome, awesome, man. Well, it's been really cool, really great. Great chatting.
Awesome. Have a good one, y'all. Stay safe and keep calm and hex on.
All right, have a good one.
Peace.